In Disney Lorcana, bodyguards are a great way to protect your characters. But how do they work exactly? Well, in this video we're going to tell you everything you need to know about bodyguards. Let's go! Bodyguard is an ability that some characters can have, and it states, an opposing character who challenges one of your characters must choose one with bodyguard if able. So if you have two exerted characters in play, and one of those has bodyguard, your opponent must challenge the bodyguard first if they decide to challenge. This makes bodyguards particularly useful for protecting your characters with less willpower, as it'll give them a chance to quest for longer. It's common to see this practice with very aggro-orientated deck strategies. If you have two or more characters with bodyguard in play who are both exerted, your opponent can choose which one to challenge. They may decide to banish one first and then the other, or put a bit of damage on each of them. There are no restrictions. And it's important to note that bodyguards only protect your characters, so they cannot be used to protect your locations. Another great thing about characters with bodyguard is that you can choose to have them enter play exerted. This allows them to begin protecting your characters as soon as they're played. But like all other characters, they still cannot sing, quest, or challenge on the turn they're played. And having a bodyguard enter play exerted is optional. So if you don't have characters to protect, you may wish to have your bodyguard enter play normally and remain ready. One key part of the bodyguard ability is the clause if able. If for any reason your opponent cannot challenge your bodyguard, then your other characters are still able to be challenged. The most classic example of this is if your bodyguard is not exerted, then your opponent can freely challenge your characters. Similarly, if your bodyguard is given evasive, characters without evasive can no longer challenge them. These are both good ways to get around the bodyguard ability without directly banishing the bodyguard first. Use something like LeFou to ready your opponent's bodyguard, or Tinkerbell to give them evasive. And beware if you place your bodyguard at Tiana's palace, preventing them from being challenged, as your opponent will no longer be able to challenge them and so can then challenge your other characters instead. Another thing to be aware of is that a bodyguard's ability is always active, not just when they're exerted. For instance, Namari, Morning Mist, is able to challenge ready characters. So if your opponent has Namari in play and your bodyguard is not exerted, they will still need to challenge your bodyguard first because of her ability. There are some abilities in Disney Lorcana that can also give a character bodyguard, such as the Photosphere. It's important to note, however, that while these abilities allow characters to gain bodyguard, they do not necessarily allow a character to enter play exerted, as a regular bodyguard could. That is because this portion of the ability is not printed on these types of cards. This is also true for Prince Eric, Ursula's bride. While you may have an Ursula in play when he is played, his ability does not allow him to enter play exerted. And there you have it, that's everything you need to know about bodyguards. If you found this video useful, be sure to hit the like button on your way out, and let us know down in the comments which mechanic you'd like to see us cover next. And until then, happy questing.